Come on.
Prepare your heart. One of the cornerstones to building confidence through what you're saying, in what you're saying, and in other people is to prepare your heart first. We all have a list, I was thinking about this the other day, we all have a list of teachers at school that we loved and admired and those we just could not stand. And one of those teachers was an art teacher who I just could not stand. He hated kids, he hated teaching, always moaned about it, used the class as a talk shop for all his grievances with other staff and generally the world, which was really ironic because he's the head of art. One of the most creative expressions, like this should love life. It should be filled with beauty and poetry, but this guy was just so bitter and angry and probably still is. And then we have a list of teachers who we love. And these teachers, I know I had a maths teacher, art teacher, drama teacher, a tech teacher who, when I turned up, just seemed like they loved the kids, would tell you when they had a bad day. It was almost like they welcomed you it was like just you were friends as well as a teacher. And that comes down to heart. Like the good teachers have a good heart. They turn up, they put the heart on the sleeve, they go to the heart of the matter, and you feel like, yeah, I'm a part of something here. I'm not just learning something, but I'm a part of something. They prepared their heart. Stephen Covey, who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective Leaders and Everything Moves at the Speed of Trust, phenomenal books. He writes this: prepare your mind and heart before you prepare your speech. What we say may be less important than how we say it. We love to prepare content, our notes, we love to do all that stuff, but where do we give time to prepare our hearts, prepare our mind? When do we do that? Because Covey's saying this, is sometimes the way you say something is more important than what you're actually saying. The most powerful moments you've seen from a platform or from a presenter or teacher, the most powerful moments always start in the same place. They always start in the heart. Every single time. Here's 2 questions you can ask to start with the heart, to prepare your heart. Number 1, do I actually believe in what I'm saying? Scrutinize what you're saying. Examine it, tear it to pieces. Ask yourself, do I truly believe in what I'm saying? Because if you don't, why are you doing it? Why are you saying it? People pick up on speakers who don't really believe what they're talking about. They have this inbuilt instinct to smell out BS whenever they need to. And it's clear to see, especially when you look back at your teachers, which teachers really cared about the kids and teaching, because they took it more seriously. It was a better level of service because of that, because they actually believed in what they were teaching. There's a king in the scriptures, in the old Hebrew traditions, called King David. And he wrote this: search my heart, O God. And if there is any offensive way within me, remove it. That's where we start. Do I actually believe what I'm saying? Do I actually think this is the right thing for people and for the future? Search your heart. Ask God if you're a believer. God, is this hard? Find something in me, God. Help me to understand what I'm bringing and actually believe it. So first question is, do I actually believe in what I'm saying? The second question is, am I living out what I'm telling others? Oh man, this is a big one. In this collection of talks, we talk about how facts are really important to people because they're like evidence. People don't just want emotions, they want evidence, and that makes them follow and that makes them want to change, you know? Here's the deal. If you're not living out what you're saying, you're lying. It's not integrous, which sounds really shallow, but I have to live by the same standards I'm saying for you. Like, if I don't believe what I'm saying, and if I'm not living it out, then A, what am I doing? B, why am I doing it? And C, what am I living for? What's all this about? I'm not being the same me on stage as I am in normal day-to-day life. King David's son King Solomon, who took on the throne after him, writes this in one of his books, in the book of Proverbs. It's a book of wisdom. It's really good. And one of the lines in there says, it's from the overflow of the heart the mouth speaks. What you say comes from your heart. It doesn't come from your head. More important than anything you say, it's how you say it. It comes from a place of the inner you, the heart of who you are, who you are. Now, when you examine those two questions and you come to at peace with those questions, some positive things come out of that examination process. Here's some positive effects of starting with the heart. You have a much richer, deeper message. Things come out of you because you're examining that wouldn't have come out if you just skirted over and decided to just blag it. Your content changes because you've spent more time looking at the deeper work of you and you've spent more time engaging in that internal process. Your content changes, it gets better, it gets more focused, more refined, and finally, your level of personal ownership goes up. It increases because it's been a hard yard putting this stuff together, making it work. You own it because it's a piece of you on stage. Okay, so that's how to start with the heart. Now, communicators tend to overdo and overthink the preparation, and they tend to cram it more with more stuff than they need, until it becomes too full of information and knowledge. When I think the reason why communicators overdo the messages or presentations is number one thing is fear. It's fear. And I have a sort of little acronym here. What are they afraid of? FEAR. Well, simply this. They're afraid of failure, that they won't succeed. So they cram it full of stuff to try and negate against that risk. They're afraid of embarrassment. What they will say will mean they'll humiliate it. They're going to get called for it. So they overfill the messages full of information and facts and stuff because I need to prove you wrong, that I'm right in this, and that, again, negates against the risk. They're afraid of their ability, that they'll crumble. They won't be able to do it, that they won't be able to succeed. And so they overfill it to have more than they need. Finally, they're afraid of rejection, that what they say will be rejected by other people. And by filling it with knowledge, by filling it with information, by filling it with facts, what they're actually doing is saying to people, hey, if you take on me, you're taking on these guys too. Don't pick on me. All of us agree you're the outsider. Fear, failure, embarrassment, ability, rejection. And our natural response is to double down because of that fear and create this densely packed package, when actually what people want is your heart, not just your head. They want to know what it feels like. They want to know what you've been through. They want to know what you think, yes, but also your experience, what energies are elicited by this. They want to know what's going on inside you, not just about the subject. Wayne Rooney, who's a very famous footballer you might not know, some years ago, Manchester United he played for, he was asked by 442 magazine, how does he prepare for his big games? And he says a few interesting things. He talks about the difference between players who get too nervous, who don't have a good routine, and how he's developed his own routine to calm himself, to still his mind before the pressure of a big game, builds and he gets out on the field. He talks about how the night before he pictures the game in his mind. He actually walks through how he's going to go score goals, the routines they've practiced, those people he's going to have to, like defenders coming after him. Even, he says in the locker room, someone puts music on that everybody listens to. So no one's allowed to have their own headphones in because he wants all the team to be singing the same song and be part and having banter and talking. And finally, he says the worst part of the pre-game routine is the hour before the game, where they're locked in the locker room, the changing room. And he said at that point, he's just relaxing. He's just trying to get his head right. Now, what he's not doing is cramming over stuff, looking at all the different plays, going through all the different scenarios. No, he's done all that work. He's done all that preparation. What he's doing is preparing his heart, preparing his mind, getting himself set. All that scrutiny, all that exam. It's time to just rest now so that I walk out on the field ready and refreshed. Prepare your heart and people will notice, because it'll be sincere, you'll have poise, have balance, you'll create a sense of care and efficiency, and the guys will really take a lot from it. Prepare your heart, not just your head. Okay, finally, Simon Sinek, who wrote Start With Why, phenomenal book and just an amazing communicator. Seriously, check Simon Sinek out. He writes this in his book, Start With Why. We are drawn to leaders and organizations that are good at communicating what they believe. Their ability to make us feel like we belong, to make us feel special, safe, and not alone is part of what gives them the ability to inspire us. Creating an environment of heart, not just head. Getting to the heart of the matter. And if you do that, confidence will rise in what you're saying, and confidence inside of your audience to do what you want them to do will increase.